please have a purple straw? Purple, a purple straw. Straw, purple. Oh, my hair is very puffy. Yes? Let's see. But I would like a purple one, please. I'm wearing a purple, so I want purple because I'm wearing purple. Sorry, I didn't. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Just put it in here. Paris, please close the door. Hi, Karena.
Hi, Pauline. How are you?
Good, and how are you? What a beautiful smile you're wearing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me just get my daughter to close the door. It's open. Paris, please close the door. Thank you. I love you. That's my little assistant. And as we're speaking, let me do the Instagram. Can I go ahead and do the link? Good. Okay, sure. You know, I didn't understand your email. This is not yet live, by the way. It's just the two of us. It's not on any social media right now. It's just the two of us. Did you want me to keep this one private, the Zoom link?
No.
Or you can go.
No, we can throw it up on Facebook.
Okay, sure. Amazing. I am just doing that now. And you can record as well. Do you know that you could do that? So you can have a copy that could be reused for content as well.
It says I have to ask for permission to record.
Yeah, go ahead and then I'll run it from my end. And anyways, I'm going to be making content for you. I'm going to set a day or time aside to be creating content for you. So like just chopping up in small pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, so I plan on doing that anyway. It's just been a little crazy.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I can't wait to catch up about our earlier discussion.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing. One moment. I'm trying to get Instagram closer. The phone was too far away. Okay, so going live on IG. Hi, everybody on IG. How are you doing? I'm going ahead and inviting Karena here. I can't believe this happens. I know how to do it, but I forget every time how to invite
every time.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yep, got it. So it's been a lot of fun lately. I'm inviting both accounts, but I don't know which one you use between Karena Bell and Teto Bay Payments. But you can.
I use Karena Bell for these.
Got it. Okay, so there we go. And as we're talking, I'll keep on moving to the phone because I like inviting people on as we speak. But today I'm at home and I have Wi-Fi and everything is perfect. There we go.
Yeah, last week was an adventure.
Tell me about it. I like to play it off like it's cool so that I keep my tempo. You know what I mean? But Jesus, that was, oh my God, that was interesting. Oh, interesting. Hi, I see we have Aslu KB, we have Lusaka South. Hi, everybody. I'm inviting Karina, and we're going to talk about an amazing topic on pivoting. And right now, as we're speaking, I'm just going ahead and I sent a request to Karina to join me on IG. She's already with me on Zoom, so I am going to connect this to Facebook. Oh, I just did. Wait, I've done it twice. Oops, I've done that twice. Okay, there we go. And I'm putting pivoting, putting the topic in. Go live. There we go. Keep the headset on because we get a lot of feedback noise when we don't. So, okay. Yesterday I got socked, so my hair is a little interesting today. It was fun though. Oh, I see Karina. She's there. Okay. And if you would like to come in at one point, enjoy the discussion, you can ask Karina direct questions about anything. You can take the opportunity. If I see there is someone asking to join in, I will give you the floor or bring you in our live. Right now, we're just going ahead to make sure everything is going good on IG. I hear Karina still has some feedback, so but she has headsets. This is how I do it at times. I would put down the volume on one very low so that there's no feedback on the other. I try that. You can just play around with it and see how that goes. There we go. So we are live on Facebook. Yay! Hi everybody. How are you doing? We have Karina on today, and Karina runs a company called Teto Bay Payments. There are solutions where we advocate for business owners driving down their merchant services costs while providing remarkable products and services. And there's a catch to this, depending on where you are in the world. I'm not sure where you're going to watch this from, but you have an opportunity um, to introduce warm connections to Karina of businesses that conduct um, businesses that have merchants online, that do online payments or any type of payments using a merchant. If you have a warm lead, you can get in touch with Karina, and who knows, you might make a commission if um, that relationship does work out. So it's not just listening to her speak, you can benefit one way or another. And this is a great opportunity for anyone looking to have some extra income, as long as you've got those warm connections and not just you going giving us a bunch of companies, but warm connections that can really benefit from seeing where they can reduce their costs with their merchants. That would be amazing. So, Karina, thank you so much for diving in today. I appreciate your presence because you're one remarkable person that I think the world needs to get to hear a lot more from. So, how are you doing?
I'm well, Pauline. Thank you for having me today. How are
That
you?
was, I'm great. That was a lot, a mouthful of words from me, right?
Yes. Oh, no, you did great. You did great.
Thank you. We'll get better at it. So, this is how we're going to do this. This topic is going to be so interesting. We're going to be talking about pivoting, like, oops, what did I do? Okay. We're going to be talking about pivoting, and pivoting comes in different ways. Sometimes pivoting comes in life where you see something you're doing is not working and you would have to deviate to see a better fit of what could get you to the destination or results that you want in life. Or it could be as a company where you've been providing services in a certain way. Like we saw last year with COVID, we had lots and lots of companies take their businesses online because people couldn't leave their houses. That's another way or form of pivoting. And we have Karina here who has been in business for a long time, so she can talk on different levels to this topic where people can connect and actually learn one or two things from her or reinforce something that you're working on. Um, Sometimes you need an outside voice to validate your thoughts to get that kick and say, okay, yeah, I'm on the right path. So, Karina, when you hear pivoting, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Usually it's significant change
There we go.
that what we're doing today isn't working and we need to do something else quickly.
I like the word quickly because I'm one type of person
who's been known to take a quite some time pivoting. So I like that you said quickly because let me not give answers because she knows. I will let her speak. Why do you think it needs to be quick when you're pivoting?
The reason most people get to a point that they determine they need to make a pivot is what they have been doing is not working. It's losing money. It's not bringing clients in. You could be losing employees. On a personal level, what you're doing is you're not getting your objective. The first thing that comes to mind is dating. You know, when somebody dates the same type of person and they say, "Boy, I just can't find that right person." Well, what have you changed, to get a different result? So usually pivoting is you are in dire need of a different result, and pivoting drastic. For one instance, I think mindset is a big foundation for where you are in your personal life and your professional life. Uh, I instantly think about startup companies that have been in startup mode for 10 years. You're no longer a startup company. You need to be operating like a stable, established, growing company. And there's a different mindset from an entrepreneur that's in startup than an entrepreneur who is stable and scaling. As you consider or contemplate a pivot, your mindset has to pivot before anything else can pivot in action to set that foundation to ensure that your next pivot could be successful.
Amazing. Well put. Well said. Well said. Like I like that you went on and articulated that because when you say fast, someone will hear it, but it can bypass. I've been one of those people who, like, at one point stayed too long into changing things, and time is something that you have to move along with. You can't move at a snail speed. So, actually knowing that you can't be a startup for 10 years, that was a great example. I love that. I love that. Um, I like that you talked about companies because companies get to see things from a different perspective, but it's not just about saying, "Okay, we're going to do this," but what kind of a plan does someone have? Is there what makes them pivot? Is it just saying, "Oh, there's this new word flying around during COVID"? They say pivot and find a way to sustain yourself. But why do you think people should pivot? What is the why? What are some of the reasons you think someone should even consider pivoting? You mentioned something in dating and relationships. I heard you that time, and I appreciate that. And you say so much. You say so much wealth of stuff that sometimes piggybacking on just one part becomes a little tricky. So I'm going to say, what are some of the whys you would say? Okay, you know what? If this thing is happening, like these are indicators, these are happening. You might want to look at everything and reevaluate and see how you can change. If that's a pivot. What do you think would be the whys?
From a professional, from a business standpoint, there's a couple different whys. Do you offer just one product or service to your market? You may need to pivot and add additional products and services to your market. If you only have one, then you've put an expiration date on the life of your company. Even if you have one product, maybe you are offering multiple versions or multiple features, multiple functions. Same things with a service. And then on the flip side of that, make sure that if you are offering a menu of products or a menu of services, that you are evaluating and reevaluating your products and services to make sure that you're cutting the fat from those things that are taking money away from your business instead of making money for your business. You always want to be focused on that fine line of where is that sweet spot of your product or service offering that is going to really resonate with your market. Another type of pivot is you may have a great solution and you're in the wrong market. Um, Somebody that I really like the way he thinks is Guy Kawasaki, in thinking about when you have a solution, get creative about markets you may never even consider that your solution could potentially solve a problem for somebody in. And he gives a number of examples in his book, The Art of the Start. And it's geared for business owners and starting up a business. And it's a nuts and bolts book that I highly recommend to anybody that even if you're in business for a couple of years, if you find you're struggling with any aspect of your business, go to the library and check it out. It's definitely,
Name again? I'm sorry.
it's called The Art of the Start by Guy Kawasaki.
Thank you.
And the way that he shared that was an aha moment for me, that whenever we have a solution or a service that we're putting out to the market, once it has created a presence in that market, we're always looking for the uncommon area that we may be able to go and serve that solution elsewhere.
Amazing. Well, thank you for that. And I love that your share came with a book. At least there's an actionable step that someone can take. So I love that you gave us the title of the book, Art of the Start. That's interesting. I've never heard of it and I've never read it. So I had to write it down and stop you there before I forgot, since you gave a lot of wealth of knowledge. There is something else you mentioned here, and I found that so interesting. You spoke about someone finding themselves in the same type of relationships all the time and not realizing that they have to change something about them so that maybe they get a different type of relationship, because it's, I think what we get reflects on who we are, I think. And sometimes if we keep on doing the same thing, we might end up attracting the same type of people, the same quality of situations, just different faces. And this is something that took me some time to understand. I learned this from Elena, by the way, where there's this thing where she said you have to become the equivalent of what you want. So in their eyes, like how does their perfect partner come across to them? You have to be able to appear in their data. So it's not about just who you are inside, but work on yourself so much that you attract the type of people you want and you're not stuck in the same kind of relationships that are always failing or always um, stagnant. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So what are some of the things you've noticed that people who stay in situations where they attract the same type of relationships um, say, or what kind of situations do you see that, okay, maybe there is a certain tone or there is a certain way they carry themselves or they keep on, what are just some of the indicators you see of people who might be stuck but not realize they're stuck, and what are indicators of people in relationships that find relationships that are better than the ones they had before?
The indicators for people that are stuck in a relationship, I think, are when you have the same conversation over and over again, but the players may be different. Um, and a lot of times the conversation can be, what do I do? And no one can answer that question for anyone except for the person asking that question. All you can do, and my recommendation is providing perspective and insight, but it's that person that really has to take in that information, make it their own, and determine. The question really is, what do I need to do? The person that what do I need to change? I think it really needs to be more of a statement of, what do I need to change to find something different. And the same thing applies with business relationships as well. When businesses plateau or they stagnate, are you only serving a very particular market? Are you very niched in what you do? You may be able to create additional niches in areas you never considered in the past. But I would say anyone that is overly comfortable in relationships as well, that uh, you should be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is an internal indicator that you're doing something different, and you're probably heading in the right direction, because now you're doing something you've never done before. You may walk up and talk to someone you may have otherwise not talked to in the past, for business or personal. um, it just depends on what it is you're looking for. People are not going to change unless they're looking for something in particular. And most people don't look for change, but they look for different results. And that just doesn't happen out of the blue. Once in a great while, but it's probably like lightning.
That's something that took me a long time to learn. But now it's like common sense. When I look back at it, I'm like, this should be like common sense, but it took me a long time because there's a time in my life where I wanted so much change, but I kept on asking people to change. I didn't realize that I was the one who was supposed to change. And I do see this in society as well. We might have issues and different things, and you see everybody trying to change others but not themselves, and not realizing you are the change you want in life. So um, that was a good mindset shift and perspective. Um, right now, I'm benefiting from that, where when I just see that someone is not looking for change, they're just looking for the results, and they never look at themselves. I'll slow, I'll appreciate their time, but at the same time, I don't spend that time of back and forth, because you cannot change another, especially if they're not seeking it. And unfortunately, one of the things I've realized is we don't change until what we're doing fails. Like, people need to bang their heads somewhere and fall and feel the pain and like, oh, ow, that's wrong. But you may read quotes, you may read books, but other times it's hard to take in the information and know that, okay, this time I have to pivot, I have to work on myself. That's the other thing I like about the topic we had last time. We spoke about workshops and the importance of finding people who we may never see in our normal, usually daily life, because those are key people that make us see things in a different way and might see things that we might not even know or perceive. So I like that. I like that topic we had last week too. Um, I have a question for you. If you had to, if you had to go to a business owner and tell them, okay, listen, you're pivoting and I see that. What are some of the key elements you would advise them to take, like to reevaluate how fast they should move, or reevaluate the touch, the things they should spend more time on doing? There's, let me tell you a backstory of this. There's a time I was working on creating workshops. Before, I was looking to help just ladies. I was just looking at ladies. It wasn't niche, because now I've pivoted in ladies who are doing business now, and I'm working on that. I'm working on optimizing. So I've been learning how to work on my calendars, work on the platforms that people can actually go to, update the website, instead of it just being a landing page where they can book and see the type of services that I give. I've been working on that. But I ask this because it's not like common sense, because you will find someone who has been working on a website for 2 years and waiting to launch, or waiting for something big to happen. If you saw someone in that space, what would be your advice to them?
My advice would be to find somebody who is where you want to be and study them, and try to connect with that person, or a couple of people, to see if they'll share their challenges, their lessons learned. How would they approach it if they knowing what they know today? How would they go about doing what they did to accomplish where they were able to get to? And then I would also have an accountability partner, that person that really, tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And a lot of times, that just having one person hold you accountable can accelerate your activities and your goals tremendously. because we can be our best champions on our best day and our worst enemies on our worst day. And especially when you recognize you need that accountability partner, and you can tell yourself everything you want to, but you're just not doing what you need to be doing. And one phone call, a 15-minute phone call with that person can just hit your reset button, and you're off. But we oftentimes will give ourselves an easy way out. We'll make excuses and we'll enable ourselves and say, we've been working hard, we've been working day and night, we've been working 7 days a week. We deserve to. No, it's delaying you from achieving what you set out to do. And I think having mentors and having accountability partners are key to that. And definitely people that have already walked that path, they have a blueprint. It may not be the perfect blueprint, but they have a blueprint that you can glean from and take what they've learned and apply what is applicable to your business. Absolutely, absolutely. I would partner with people that are doing better than you, and have not just an accountability partner, but have people close to you that will be a confidant, a tribe. And we talked about this before, that people that will help you identify your blind spots. When you're pivoting, you're going into uncharted territory oftentimes, and you don't know what you don't know yet. And it's those people with outside perspective that can help you fill in the potholes long before you get there. That can be very helpful. I love to share my failures or my lessons learned or my feed. Well, you know me. I hate to use the word failure. My feedback. My feedback. Um, I love to share my feedback when things didn't work out the way I anticipated, and some have not worked out on a glorious scale. But I like to share that so someone else doesn't experience the same thing, or it doesn't take them as long to go through that, or they can just avoid it completely. And we can't be any good at one thing if we know everything. So we have to be a bit specialized in what it is that we do, and bring people around us that fill in the gaps of the other knowledge and skills and resources that we need. We don't need to know everything. We need to know the people that can do everything. And I think as business owners, oftentimes it's a badge that's worn undeservedly. Oftentimes, when you're first starting out, you do by default. You have to, but you want to move away from that title as quickly as you can and start involving people that can help support you and keep your focus on your main skill, your main goal, your main objective.
Well said, Karina. Well said. I don't know if you see this on your side. I'm seeing a lot of glitches with the internet, but I think it's everywhere. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I'm not seeing it on my side.
okay, must be just me. Well put. I like that you said that. Um, and re-emphasize that people have to find someone who's doing exactly what they're doing, but who's way ahead because they've traveled the road. They've got the blueprint to it. So they see things that you don't see and blind spots. So I love that. The other thing I like that you pointed out when answering was like, okay, you need an accountability partner. That's something I personally don't have that yet. So I love to hear that because sometimes it's not that we don't know, we know the information, but when it comes to applying it, that's a different case. And at times, when you have those people who are like, well, you're supposed to be doing this in case you forget, you need that kind of atmosphere, you need that kind of environment because you made a personal choice to do something. And then it's not like other people are forcing you to do something else. It's like, okay, well, are you going to put down a car engine? You might need a few spanners to put down that. You're going to change a tire, or you might need a wool spanner for that. So it's not like people are telling you, oh, do this and do that, but it's like in this path and what you're doing. And you choose them because you know they've got the stats, they've got the results. Like you mentioned. So there it's not like just someone throwing out information out there, but you can really, really learn from. And another funny thing, this is so funny. When Karina was speaking and she goes, I would like to share some stories on failures. And then she goes, no, 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 feedback. If you've really watched the videos I've had with her, she never uses the word failure and she always deviates to feedback. But I love that she explained that because someone who hasn't walked a path, when they hear feedback, they will not relate it to something that didn't work. So whenever you hear her say feedback, it's something that most people call, oh, failure. It's a bad thing that happened. But to her, it's like, okay, it wasn't failure. It was giving me information of what I did wasn't working. So what do I have to change? So there is, I would like to say, reframing of how you see things instead of seeing it as a detriment, but you see it as a learning point. And it's sort of these small mindset shifts, very small things. It's like from failure to feedback. It's a change of words, but it changes how you perceive something, and you don't have that attachment of negative connotation to it. It's like, wow, this is a good moment. What do I have to learn? So I love that you say that. I appreciate that.
Well, and my feedback causes me to pivot.
Ah, there you go. There you go. I've had quite a few of those, and I'm excited to get more feedbacks because it just means I'm getting room for refinement. To me, I love them, but I would like you to share one personal story where you got, um, where you did not see something coming, and then you had to say, "Well, let me learn from this moment." Is there something you can think about? It could be in business. It could be um, something you experience in your just personal life, anything that you would say, wow, let me think about this, and this is something that happened and we had to reframe it and stuff like that and learn from it.
Yeah, one actually comes to mind that was significant that launched me into my entrepreneurial journey. April 1st, April Fool's Day 2019, ended my corporate career. There was a department of 40 of us. We were all brought into a room and we were told that our department had been eliminated. Thank you for your service. Bye. And that was pretty apparent. I'd always been thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, business owner, doing my own thing, and I'd been preparing for it for a while. And I went through the normal roller coaster of emotions. It took me about 20 minutes. So it didn't take me very long to get back to a place of good mindset and the weight of the position that I was in that I wasn't happy with. I wasn't thriving. I was working a lot. There was a lid on the amount of money I could make, and someone else was telling me they were telling me the value that I brought to the table instead of the other way around. Uh, so then after that, um, it was like a rush of a weight being lifted, going, oh my gosh, I literally can now do whatever it is I want to do. And it was exciting and overwhelming all at the same time because when you're given that opportunity, you're like, wow, I've been waiting for this all my life. This is so exciting. And then the next day, when you sit down and go to work to figure out what that is, it can be very anxious and fearful, scary, because now you are on your own. Now it is up to you. Now you do make all the decisions. How do you handle that? How do you succeed? More importantly, how do you succeed at doing that? And again, it's bringing in people that have that expertise, that know how to start a business up from scratch. The very first things I did was reached out to a mentor, and then reached out to the Small Business Association, SBA. They offer free training and free mentors of people that specialize in the various uh, areas of business, marketing, accounting, business development, scaling, whatever that is that you need, business structure, taxes, financial management, all of that. And then another organization is called SCORE, SCORE. And these are both government funded programs, and they are in all major cities. And they both offer free training, and they both offer free mentoring from local professionals in the area. that live in your community and they're giving back by helping people in startup business sectors. And even if you've been in business for years and you're looking for advice or guidance, they will help any business owner that reaches out and asks for it. And those were fantastic resources until I was able to get my own feet under me. But I used trusted people and trusted advisors to help guide me along the way. And again, the blind spots. I can't emphasize the blind spots enough. When you're in business for yourself and you're a business owner, you really have to put your ego on the back burner and let people tell you what you don't know for the sake of the success of your business and your financial future. Um, again, like I said, you can't be expected to know everything and be good at anything. So you need to have people that are there to help guide you. And so it took me a while. It took me about 6 weeks to determine what I wanted to do next. But when that event did occur, the reason I had such a wave of relief come over me is I had set myself up financially that money was not an issue, that I knew I wanted to start my own business. So I had created the capital for that when the time came and when I was ready. So I had plenty of money to live on and plenty of money to build a business with. And that afforded me the luxury of not being burdened with that thought of, oh my gosh, I have to make money this week, and that. So it gave me the time to come to the conclusion I needed to without that added pressure and anxiety.
Wow, beautiful. You've said a lot here, but one thing I would like to emphasize is she mentioned two resources, and that's the SBA and SCORE. I once went to the SBA, and this is something I experienced. Yes, they've got a lot of mentors there, and they're very helpful. I realized that because I couldn't perceive things that were not in my radar, they would give me information and I would listen but not understand anything they're saying. So if you do go to these resources, like ask a lot of questions, ask a lot of questions. That's why they're there. And don't be afraid. Karina talked about throwing away the ego. I think that's very important, where you're just like a child, where even if you're asking the same thing three times, like don't worry about it. Yes, you can do your own research, but at the same time, like don't be scared to ask questions when you get to these resources. And the SBA is, like Karina said, a government run place. And this is everywhere in the United States. Whichever state you're in, they do have the SBA location. So please look them up and see the closest place you can go to. And sometimes it's just good as well to network. And if you're a business owner who doesn't need that help because you've been thriving for a long time, you might want to go there and see how you can become a resource for those people who are starting on something that you're excelling at. So whichever level you're playing at, there is a way you can utilize it, and you can either give your expertise, or if you're starting, you can just look out for a mentor there. So I love that you mentioned that. Thank you so much, Karina. I do appreciate that. um right now I'm thinking, if I went to SBA, and it's something I totally forgot about. And I'm glad you brought that in my radar again. That's why I love these conversations. I love them because they're aligned with where I'm going and what I'm doing. So I know next time, even when I'm looking for accountants, instead of, let me share this story. It's out of topic, but let me just share. I once started looking for accountants to help me with my C corp that I created. I created all this by myself for an app which was going to be more like, I've submitted it to the 10x incubator as well. It was supposed to be like an Amazon kind of thing, where I have companies and businesses participating from all over the world. So just like you would have, not Amazon, like an ebay, it's a kind of thing, but I was targeting countries like Asia, looking at India, Indonesia, like people who are not really on the marketplace, but they do produce. Countries in Africa and USA as well, to see how manufacturers from these other countries can also play at a level that China has been for a long time. But if we can have other countries and a company made in USA, for the manufacturers here to be known as much as the ones that you find on Alibaba or eBay, I thought that was an amazing opportunity. So I went ahead and did that. But it was way over my head, and I didn't have that mentor. So when I went to the SBA, they were giving me information, and I wasn't able to understand. And I hit the wall, and right now I spoke to Grant because they have this platform where they're helping. So if anybody is in a place, the point is, if anybody is in a place where they do need that help, go to their nearest SBA. You can just put on your Google literally SBA near me. S, the letter S, B for Ben for butter, A for Apple. Put it in your Google near me, and you can get that help. So thank you for pointing that out. I was just thinking about this after you spoke about it, and I forgot. Well, my point again. I digress. I'm sorry. I digress. I'm a little bit now having a lot of memories with the two companies. I was looking for someone to help me with a C corp when it comes to accountants because accountants are different. People who do individual taxes, S corporations, C, they're all different. But being new in the USA, like I didn't have touch points, and I went to three that I paid over $1,000, and they never did the work. And it was frustrating because now I remember I could have just gone to the SBA, and they would have connected me with legit people who are really registered and who do the work. I'm like, I didn't think about this. And it took me speaking to Karina today, and I'm like, well, maybe I should have gone there for accountants as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that you hit on a really good point. That they're a tremendous resource, but again, tell them what you're comfortable with and tell them what you're challenged with because they don't know what you don't know. So you have to be very forthright, and you may have to be a little vulnerable, especially as a business owner, and say, I am not doing well here. I really need somebody to guide me. I'm on a level of 1 to 5. I'm a 1.5, or a 0 to 5. I'm a 1.5. That helps guide them on the appropriate type of expertise to match you and pair you with. So yeah, just go in there with the anticipation that you're going to get a lot of help. You're going to get a lot of help, but be transparent. Be transparent with them and let them know. It continues to be a resource, even with business owners that I work with and are my friends that are wildly successful. They still recommend SBA to people they talk to. They are still involved with the SBA. So, it doesn't matter how big or small you are. People that have um, utilized the SBA services have nothing but wonderful things to say about it, and the people that volunteer their time so graciously.
Amazing.
And they have a lot of webinars, a lot of training webinars and that you can sign up for. So yeah, take advantage. And that's another thing as a business owner. There are a lot of resources out there to support us and help us. We just have to talk to other business owners, ask, and tell people that, to say, I'm looking for this type of a resource. Somebody is going to know, or start searching online. There are a ton of resources out there that are available. A lot of times people just don't know.
You know, that's nicely put to say people don't know because sometimes when you've been in business for a long time, this becomes like common sense. It's just like, okay, I'll go to SBA, and I'm sure you did not prepare saying I'll speak about SBA. Maybe you did, I don't know, but there are these resources that are out there, and not everybody knows. Especially now with COVID, you get companies that started in the middle of the pandemic and they've been at home. So maybe they don't have those touch points, or every touch point is just selling what they're doing, but not telling them other resources they could look out for. And sometimes lives like this are amazing. I saw someone put a comment there like, this is Walusaka South when interesting topic. I'm actually starting up a company, you see, so it's a good conversation, but it depends with which part of the world you're watching this from because I know I've got a lot of international um, audiences here on my end, so depends also with where you're starting off. look out for a similar type of setup that helps companies to help you see some things. Would you like to say something?
The first thing I would, oh, I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
The first thing I would recommend is reaching out to SBA or a similar organization if you're not in the US, is your corporate structure, your company structure. How do you set up your business? In what form should it be set up in to best protect yourself and the business? That is paramount. That is the foundation of how your business will run and operate as you go forward. And you definitely want to make sure that it's set up correctly and everything is documented correctly and structurally. I just recently worked with a business owner that was operating and became a client. And when I asked for his articles of organization, he said, I don't have that. All I have is an EIN number. And I said, you've been operating as a business all this time and you don't have any strings. He goes, no. I said, okay, let's hit the brakes and we need to get you structured. So we were able to do that in less than 48 hours and get him structured the way he needed to be, and with the right people. It was not me, but we were able to align him with the right people to get that done within 48 hours, and then we were able to continue moving on to get him set up as well. So yeah, it's just an emphasis on setting up your business legally and documenting it and structuring it correctly for your business, for your industry, and for your own protection.
I love that. Thank you so much for that, Karina. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about your company as well. It's going to be like a little commercial break, and then we'll get back to the topic. Since we're more than halfway, we've got about 15 minutes to go. So we'll just do a quick reset for anyone who's just watching on Facebook. Hi, I see you. For everybody on IG, hi, I see you. So we're with Karina. Karina is a company owner for Back Payments. And one of the things I would like to say about this company and the services that she has is, even as you're watching right now, you have an opportunity to make some money with this lady, and she runs a mission-based company that provides generous referral programs, splitting the monthly revenues 50-50 for the lifetime of the business and the referring partners. So it's not just about listening and learning from her. If you do have a warm lead, you have a possibility to make part-time income, and why not use every resource you can during this time of the year, and just, going forward, you need more multiple streams of income. So if you do have warm leads and people with companies, please go ahead and reach out to Karina. But make sure you talk to the people you know that have businesses that are running a merchant-based service, and see if they would need an expert to come in and help them save some costs on the services and payments that they take on, whether it's online or in person. And you can get in touch with Karina after you've made that connection already with other people. Don't just set leads. Don't just do that. So, Karina, what is something that you like or you look for when you're looking for people to work with who can benefit from your services? I would like to hear a little bit about that.
Well, as you mentioned, we're a mission-based organization, and the reason that I did start Turtle Bay Payment Solutions is out of my own frustrations as a business owner of the high prices and the lack of services. And what I did was I went and partnered with somebody who was an OG, an original in the payments industry, and mentored with her for about a year, and realized that business owners across the US were grossly being overcharged and underserved, and created a business model that is like no other, where we address all of the frustrations, the high costs, the pain points, the lack of service, the lack of personalization, the contracts, all of that. And we turned it on its heels. The type of business that we work with is, and unfortunately, I have to say this, any legal business in the US. And any business owner that feels like they may be paying too high of processing fees and costs in their merchant services or electronic payments, or they're not getting service. One of the biggest complaints to out there in the industry is once the people sign up, they never get support. They never get anybody that answers the phone, or they get a robot that's responding to them. And that's not what we do. Everything is personalized. Every client has an assigned account manager. They know by face and name. They have the direct number. Every one of our clients knows me by face and name, has my direct number. We don't have a call center. We don't have a 1-800 number. We do not use robots. There are always people that are educated in the industry, have expertise, that are picking up the phone. And customer care is not just a priority for us. Customer care is everything to us. So we work with all business owners that large and small. We work with startup entrepreneurs all the way up to multi-billion-dollar companies that are looking to save, uh, increase their cost savings, and definitely are looking for remarkable service and support. Wonderful, wonderful. We'll definitely help you where we can. No, just a legal business in the U.S. Could you say that again? You cut out just for a second. It is the business owner. The business owner is the person that would see the advantage in the cost savings. I did. I did. I think everybody's experienced a pivot of one type or another. But you also need to know when to let go and move on to something different when what you're working on is not going to be successful. And usually the indicators for that are your money or your company has been bleeding money for a long time. You're not making an impact in the market or markets that you've been working within, and you're losing good talent. Because usually what all of that will indicate is one, you do not have a successful product or service. Also, you've lost belief in it. because you've not done enough to make it successful, or you've just not been able to make it successful, and others see that as well. Your employees and the people that you surround yourself with in your organization, if they start to leave, a lot of times it's because they've stopped believing in what you're doing as well. And one thing that I advise people on, because one of my businesses is an executive recruiting business as well, and when I'm working with candidates, I will recommend that you do not look for a job based on the title or the organization or the role. Look for an organization that you can align to the mission, and you will never be without motivation in whatever your role is within that organization. So, if the mission and the belief of the leader within your organization, even if it's your own, wanes, everyone will see it, everyone will feel it. So it's always best to know what your exit plan is and what are the triggers that would enact your exit plan if you did indeed have to go down that road. Because you don't want to continue to pivot and be unsuccessful. The objective of pivoting is to pivot to success, not continued failure or feedback. But in that case, it would be failure. So it's always good to recognize when it is time to walk away, especially when you have employees. The moment you have an employee, the responsibility increases tenfold because now your decisions in your direction directly impact other people's families, other people's children. So the responsibility is a large responsibility that should not be taken lightly.
Well said, well put. Oh my God. When we have these conversations, I normally jump on stuff, but Karina, when you speak, I really take it in. And my mindset and my being, the way I operate is I am a deep philosopher. So when I don't listen to respond, I listen to understand and really see, like taking in, soaking the lesson. So sometimes I get these awkward moments when I'm listening or when someone's talking where I'm like quiet and just like, I have that serious face. But now I'm trying to work on it and be able to respond, because if we're online, people need a back and forth, like a dance. Um, I'm still soaking in what you just said. I'm still soaking it in. But I like that you pointed out to business owners knowing that it's not just you. If you have an employee, you're responsible for another family, you're responsible for more than just yourself. So you have to be smarter and make better decisions 10 times more, because it's not just you. It's not just, oh, if I feel uncomfortable, I'm okay failing or getting feedback. But what about the people who are following you? They're putting their trust in you. So I like that you pointed and alluded to that. That's something big that some business owners need to learn not to see people who are in their organizations as people are there just to serve them, but no, you are indirectly serving them by the decisions you make and making the company run more smoothly. And sometimes it's like a family when you have a parent. It's like knowing when to be strong and have those structures, that guiding structure on behaviors that are allowed and tolerated, and what you expect from people who you're going to be working with in an organization, than just letting everybody be because it's a free world. Like, that's a serious business. So I think, if I heard you correctly, you said business owners need to step up at least 10 times more as long as you have employees, because they are relying on you to keep it going. That's their income. They're feeding their families and themselves. And that was so, 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 so big. I've heard it before and I understand it, but I do realize that not everybody understands. When you say things like this, it seems like a casual conversation, but it has so much depth to it, and we can have fun whilst running and starting our businesses or doing whatever we're doing. But the moment we have employees, that's a certain hat that you have to wear, and sometimes you need to shed room for things you like to things that will help you grow. And that's where you spoke about earlier. I heard you say we have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's shedding off a part of you that's not serving the organization, a part of your decision making that's not allowing you to grow, and bringing in the new that you have to adapt with. And the moment you get too comfortable with that, you have to let it go and find something that takes you on another level, another level. So I love that you say that. If I heard you correctly, I might be putting words in your mouth. Correct me if I am.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I know at times when I get comfortable, I get nervous. It's like, oh, I'm getting complacent somewhere. You know, it's an indicator for me. It's an indicator for me that, and it took time. It took time. It's human nature.
Hmm.
When we don't like things that are uncomfortable. You know, when a stove is hot, we don't like that. It's uncomfortable. But when you see the result at the end of that momentary discomfort and the growth that you experience, and the advantage that you have on the other side of that, whatever that may be, you think, well, I can be uncomfortable for a little while, you know, to accomplish my end goals, or I need to be uncomfortable because again, what I'm doing isn't working. I need to go do some things that are uncomfortable to see if that's working, because what I'm doing is easy, and everybody's probably doing the easy thing, but you're not going to set yourself apart either until you start doing things that are different than other people and uncomfortable for you. And it just provides an opportunity for growth, and in the mindset of growth and development. I think I constantly look for that. I look for opportunities to learn something new. I confess I do suffer from FOMO, and I have to limit myself at things that I look at and explore and things like that. But it's also that um, relentless curiosity that, talking to new people, putting myself in new situations, uncomfortable situations, completely unfamiliar situations. I've been doing that for the last month, and the results of it have just been mind blowing. That I had no idea of just the different types of people that I would meet that didn't have a direct result in my business, but had a tremendous impact somewhere else that could lead to other things. So it's just interesting when you're looking for opportunity, you will see opportunity, you will find opportunity, and it may be opportunity for growth. It may be opportunity to pivot. It may be an opportunity to step into something completely new that you never even considered before, and look at life with the question of, instead of asking why would I do that, say why wouldn't I do that? What's the best thing that could happen if I did that instead of what's the worst thing? Everybody can plan for the worst thing, but very few people will focus on the best thing that could possibly happen and leap into it with a bit of faith and also confidence that, no matter what, so far you've survived 100% of the worst day you've ever had, and it can't be that bad. And take some people with you. Don't go in it alone. Take some people with you and say, hey, I found something exciting. It could be an adventure. It could be fun. You want to go? Let's go explore it together.
You know, when it comes to learning, it's like a child. We should, as much as possible, try to emulate how kids are so curious. Because sometimes, there's this statement where we think we know, and we stop growing because we know it all. But instead of saying we know, I think I changed now. I don't say I know. I say I've come to an understanding, meaning there is room to grow further than that. Because the moment you just like, okay, I know this, it's like your brain goes in default, like, okay, you're good. So actually admitting to oneself to say, okay, I understand this. Obviously, there's more and different avenues of life for me to explore, and just keep on growing, keep on putting ourselves in situations that we might never be in if we don't seek them out. And sometimes it means being open to receive information that we might not receive if we're just in our normal space. So I like that. I'm a former world, I think, champion when it comes to former world champion, by the way, to coming to see the bad. Like, I would analyze everything that will go wrong. I'm that type of a person. and I had to retrain myself to start with possibilities of the greatness that can happen. Like this was a big shift. Give me any situation, I'll see all the wrong things that will go for it, and I'll be ready for everything that comes. So if it comes 10 folds, I'm there 100 folds. But for me to learn to shift into, okay, what's a good thing that I want? And I started seeing that it wasn't just me. So maybe I wasn't even the world champion. Maybe I was, I'm not sure. That I would see the same in other people where they know what they don't like. But when you say, what do you like? What do you want? They don't know. So, yeah, there is that. We've gone 3 minutes past an hour. I'm so sorry, Karina. I enjoy speaking with you and listening to you. So,
Oh
before
no,
I
that's
let
that's okay.
you, okay, but I do apologize because I know time is something that I don't take for granted. Like, if someone sat with me on a one-on-one, you would see that when someone gives me that, I don't have expectations of others. So when someone just does that, I'm like, okay, this means a lot. They could have been doing a million things. So I really soak myself into the conversations, and sometimes when it's this good, I get carried away. So thank you so much, Karina. I don't know
You're
if we
very
had
welcome.
any more questions. If we had questions that I missed, I'm so sorry. um Karina, would you like to
Feel
see if
free
anyone?
feel free to reach out if there's questions we missed. Feel free to reach out to us directly. Uh, DM us on Facebook or Instagram, of course. Absolutely.
Amazing. And we'll be coming live every Wednesday, 12. I mean, Thursday. I don't know why that comes up first. Every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be coming live. I'll be creating more posts and adverts just to show everybody that, okay, be ready. This and this time will be popping up. You'll be getting to see a lot of Karina. Sometimes we're going to have our hair down where it will just be comfy and just, light moments. Other times we'll dig into, according to who we are at that day. If we're in that go-go mode, obviously you see a different aspect. If we're more laid back, like maybe she's on vacation or she's relaxed, you get to see different sides. And that's the way a human being is. So knowing that we're not rigid and we come according to how we are in that day and what we are having to face. So looking forward to bringing Karina on a lot more. And it's so exciting for me. I'm excited. I'm excited for this. And for anybody
Oh, I
watching,
I enjoy it.
anybody watching, if you're in the US, look for businesses that you know that make payments, whether in person or online, and maybe the business might be losing money on that. You might be able to get something. You might be able to get 50% of the lifetime of that referral that you give to Karina, and she'll be able to advise them. So you see the wealth of knowledge that she has. You see how much in depth she goes and how much of a human being she is, meaning that whatever she's running is top notch, and you want that for yourself. You want a person like her for yourself. I know I want her by my side. I know I want that link to her because she's amazing. It's not just the services that you will get, but you'll be able to make money as well. So she's not just giving this free content, but if you have a business or you have a friend that gets payments either online or in person, they run a merchant safe kind of business, bring them on, but talk to them first and then bring them on to Karina. Don't be shy, reach out. Karina, again, thank you so much for coming on. Looking forward to many more.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
week, and we'll talk soon.
All right,
Thank you for
bye.
everyone joining as well. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
oh, thank you. Have a lovely day. All right, so we had Karina on Facebook. I see you, and I see Karina here. All right, everybody. So we had Karina on, and she was amazing. She was fire. We'll be getting to see a lot more of her. We'll be getting to see a lot more of me and her. That's 12 p.m. every Thursday Eastern Standard Time, and you can get information on business. Hi, Vesa. How are you? Hi, PFP Designs. I see these, and I'm so grateful that you guys are engaging with us. I see this on Facebook. I'm unable to see. I can only see after. Um, the reason I don't look at the comments so much is I'm for lack of better words, I'm a deep thinker. So whenever I read, like, I really get zoned in, and then I forget to interact with the person I'm interacting with. So I do always come back. And as long as I'm not rushing for something, I will look at the comments and see who was there. So shout out to Vesa. Shout out to PFP Designs. Thank you for telling me that my Zoom link on Facebook was on mute without me realizing it. I appreciate that. You're amazing. You're a superstar. Thank you, Mills, Chris. I see you. I see many people. I see Braylon. I see, oh my, some name is Train. Show. I don't know how to pronounce that. I see you. Thank you for coming in. Balusaka South. Yes, yes. Get the wisdom. Get the knowledge. You need to learn. We all need to learn. Wimba, amazing. Hi, gorgeous. I see ASLU dot KB. I see you. Hi, how are you? So I appreciate everybody that's coming on. And one of the things I would like to point out in the conversations that I have with Karina is my goal is to make sure that I bring to the platform people who I know that their voices will help another person either by listening. And if you're looking to make an extra sum of income and you live in the US, I know I'll take out the opportunity. If I do get in touch with a warm business lead who runs a merchant service kind of business, I will take them to Karina because I trust her. I know she's not going to screw over someone and she's top notch in what she does. So why not? Why not be that bridge and gap? And the other thing is, you're not just getting this wisdom, you're not just getting these nuggets. You might already know the information, but it's just a reminder because I know I do need those reminders. Even if I do think I know them, it's reinforcing things I need to be focusing my attention on because there are so many distractions out there. And when a person like that comes along and shares such wealth of information, like, why not? Why not? My intention is to let the people I go live with do a lot more speaking than I do because it's my page, so I can come on and talk my head off. But I want you to listen to the people I bring on, and eventually you might have connections and maybe do business together. Um, you might have a business that they might want to invest in or speak with or work with. You might have non-profit organizations that you can have these resources that you can start making connections with. Get uncomfortable getting uncomfortable with reaching out to people who are not your normal people you speak to every day. And that's how you grow. That's how you expand your knowing. Your information, your understanding is by getting into different rooms. This room is IG and Facebook right now, so I appreciate everybody's time so immensely. Like, I really appreciate you so much. And know that when pivoting, you have to know when to let go. And sometimes pivoting will mean just knowing to make those small tweaks that gives you an unfair advantage in the marketplace or in your personal life, whatever it may be. My name is Pauline. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next Thursday at 12 p.m., 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have another live coming up with George today at 3:30 p.m. Like I said, I've been pivoting, so I've been spending most of my time rebranding and working on optimizing so that when I do reach out to my clients that I've niched on, they're able to find a platform or services that are already there. I've been working on those packages, so I haven't been coming online. If I am online, I am more like listening to a conversation and not like actively there. So thank you so much everybody for watching. Have an amazing Thursday and see you later at 3:30. Thanks again. Remember, do follow Karina, do like her post, and that will give the algorithm or show the algorithms that she's getting engagement and her profile can be pushed up. My name again is Pauline and have an amazing Thursday. Hearts.